It's exactly 8 after the hour, 6 on the mighty Metro FM. Radio sounding the way it does between 3 and 6 is a Metro FM exclusive. Don't think that that's what radio is supposed to be. No, it's not. The kind of conversations DJ Andile comes and has here are only exclusive to Metro FM because between 3 and 6, it's the touchdown. Tebow Touch alongside Loot Love. Nothing better. Catch him again tomorrow between 3 and 6. 9 after the hour 6. This is Sports Night Amplified with Andile. I am Andile Ncube. Now, the biggest game in Africa is the derby. You can't tell me otherwise. Chiefs versus Pirates. Huge game. Love it. Does it still have the passion of we lost against Pirates, I'm not eating for a week? I'm not sure if it still has that element to it. I'm not sure if it still has that gut-wrenching a loss against Chiefs and Pirates is the end of the world. But is it the most spectacular game? The game that divides the nation, the continent, and maybe even the world? Because South Africans and Africans are everywhere now. Definitely. Right? And then you've got another cute derby. I enjoy it. It's the KZN derby between AmaZulu and Royal AM. What the guys are doing there with that rivalry is nice. I mean, you can go overseas to the Manchester derby. Oh, man, what a derby that is. It's turned the tide now. It's all Man City at the moment. I'm going somewhere. Hear me out. I'm going somewhere. And then there's derbies across the world. There's one in Egypt. There's one, the South American Argentinian derby must be one of the most impassioned derbies I've ever seen. If you ever want to see passion, tears, heartfelt, go to that derby. But there's one game that's possibly bigger than most, if not all. But it's not a derby. It's the El Clasico. It's not a derby. It's Real Madrid and Barcelona. They don't come from the same places. They both represent Barcelona and Madrid. Hence it's called the El Clasico, because it's a classic of a game whenever they meet. Now, hear me out here. The most passionate, impassionate game in South Africa at the moment, it's a war, is Mamelodi Sundowns versus TS Galaxy. It's a war, guys. And last night, it didn't disappoint. Not in the actual 90 minutes, not in the post, the preamble was just as good as the post. The tackles that were flying, it is exactly what you'd want a game to be as far as passion is concerned, right? It builds up to all of those things. By the way, I checked on Bongani Zungu. I'm hearing he's receiving a couple of stitches, but he'll be okay. So we wish him well here. So I want to know from you, what are we calling that game? It needs its own name. Sia Dermovic versus Rulani Mukwena, TS Galaxy versus Sundowns. It needs its own name. Today's show is going to tell you about a 20-year-old you'll never forget. It's Sports Night Amplified with Andile in the mighty Metro FM. I am Andile Ncube. Today's show is an exciting one for me. I'm really happy to be speaking to Nqabayonzi Peter. You might not know who that is now because he's 20 years old, but his story will have you believe. His story is intertwined with that of Themba Bavuma, and we'll have Themba Bavuma on the show as well this evening because we need to speak about an incredible year for young Nqabayonzi Peter. If you don't know his name, please hold on. Trust me, you will. And also we'll be speaking to a coach that is a former PSL coach that might be returning to the top flight. Magesi football club coach Clinton Larsen, who's at the moment leading the Motsepe Foundation Championship, which is the second tier, or as it used to be known, first division, NFD of South African football. Those two conversations still coming up. And it would be amiss of me if I don't take a moment to say something about my friend. My friend, Ncube. And I say my friend because he was that to me. He wasn't even like an older brother. He was literally like my boy. You know, he would call me and we would laugh at the most stupid of things. But we're not ignoring the passing of this legend. We're not ignoring the rose that has wilted away into the earth back to where it came from. It's a story we will tell tomorrow. My interviews with him on this show, the conversations we've had on this show, we will share with you tomorrow. I don't want to get into too much with it because it's such an emotional thing to see Ncube a man who was like iron, who stood up against so many fights, so many fists that have taken him, and he stood tall, never looking fallible. And his day too would come. We'll speak about that tomorrow. If you're wondering what my whole intro was about, have a listen to this. That's all I'm going to say about it till we take your calls on 086 000 2160 or WhatsApp on 060 552 7303.
Sports Night Amplified with Andile on Metro FM.
Mazalamule Fat Super Journey. Next to him is the Al Principale in Victor Hlongwane. Coach Siadramovic versus Coach Vlada Mukwena.
Are they going to shake hands?
It's a war this evening.
But I'm disappointed with the tackle on Bongani Zungu. I'm very disappointed because I was told already last night that the coach of the opposition showed that tackle that Bongani Zungu made on Barrett Park and showed it to the players and said, don't forget what Bongani Zungu did.
I learned that I will not more comment on anything what he said, because if a guy wants to advertise his ignorance all the time, you don't have to do anything just to let it talk.
It's a war. It's not a game, it's a war.
War of words leading up to the game, war of words after the game as well.
6 to 7 p.m. Sports Night Amplified with Andile on Metro FM. Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport.
A Sports Night Amplified with Andile, and have the pleasure of being joined by a coach that's done so well. You know, he had to do it the hard way around. Coach Clinton Larsen, to come back up to top-tier football is the dream and the hope, and it's something that seems very feasible and possible for Clinton Larsen at the moment, coaching Magesi Football Club. Clinton, it's been a while. Thank you so much for joining us, Coach.
Good evening, Andile. Good evening to all the listeners.
Coach, what a season has been. What a time has been. How long has it been now since you coached in the DSTV Premiership, Coach? Do you remember?
Oh, gosh, it's probably 4 years, something like that.
Is it? It feels so much longer to me. I feel like I haven't seen you in a long time.
Yeah, but listen, wherever I've coached, I've enjoyed it, be it in the NFP or the ABC. I've always said I enjoy coaching, and regardless of what level I'm at, nothing changes for me.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that, Coach, because, you know, there are coaches who pride themselves in being top-flight coaches who would never, go under to coach teams. You know, it's very similar to some players who would never go under to coach teams or play for teams that are not in top-flight football. You see football differently to that.
Yeah, I just love the challenge, Andile. I absolutely love the challenge, whether it's conditions, whether it's traveling. I've got a very strong mindset, and I love being an underdog. And these are the challenges that really get the best out of me. So I always take big challenges on. I've always been that way. I've always been an underdog in my life, so I love the underdog tag. And once again, I'm with an underdog called Magesi this season.
Well, I mean, it might have been underdogs at the beginning of the season. Right now, though, it's looking a lot more like the favorites. 26 matches played, 49 points is what you have, which is 4 points adrift of University of Pretoria. Before your game, the last game that you played, when you went on to lose to Maritzburg United, I thought to myself, I'm beginning to count down and put the champagne in the freezer, because it's almost time, Coach. But it's been that kind of season, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the team's been brilliant. In the past, 11 or 12 games, I think we went 10 games unbeaten. And the boys have been fantastic. It's been a season that has its ups and downs, but I must be honest and say there have been more ups and downs. We've really punched above our weight as a small club. And we're going to keep doing that. We've got 4 games left. It's still ours to lose. 4-point lead with only 4 games to go. So I think the next 2 games are going to be vital for us. And I'm quietly confident that the boys will keep churning out the results for us.
Was this the mandate? Is this what the club Magesi expected from you, to qualify them to the DSTV Premiership? And were you provided, obviously, with all the material that you might need, all the equipment you might need, all the money you might need to be able to achieve something like this?
Yeah, well, I think every single chairman in the league at the beginning of the season in the NFD are talking the same language. It's promotion. And automatic promotion, worst case scenario, top 3. So our club was no different. But one thing that was different about our club is the support I got from my management. You know, they allowed me to mold this team into the unit that I have, allowed me to bring the players in that I thought would excel at the club. And without that support, you cannot achieve success. So credit must definitely go to our chairman, Solly Makubela, as well as our CEO, John Motibe, for the support they've given me, for the control they've given me in the club. It's not very often that a coach, especially in the NFD, gets the type of control that I've had. But I suppose it's worked. It's something that I've enjoyed. And, it's been a great season so far.
Coach, I mean, you look at a team like Baroka, the University of Pretoria as well, Maritzburg even. I'm not sure about JDR Stars so much, but those are well-resourced teams, financially that is. Are you with a very stable financial team as far as the management is concerned? Are you well-resourced?
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons the team has been successful. I've been with the team now for a season and a half. You know, I joined the middle of last season. And there's never been a single moment when the players have been paid short or been paid late. And that speaks highly of the management we've got at the club. You know, at least 60 to 70% of clubs in the NFD, there are always stories about late payments, short payments, and sometimes not even being paid at all. And it's one of the reasons I've stayed at the club, because of the way the club is run. And I think it's one of the reasons why we've brought success to the club. There's a lot of stability at the club, and a coach can only do so much. And having players not worry about whether their salary comes at the end of the month is just something that is so important to me. And it just allows my players to focus on the job at hand.
You've got 4 games to go. With 5 games, you're already doing something that you weren't doing. You're losing matches, losing to your former team, Maritzburg United. I'm pretty sure that was an even worse dagger to the heart, Coach. But with 4 games to go now, are there some cold feet? Is there something that the players perhaps are struggling with? Are you nervous at all to look at the fact that you need 8 points to make it through to the next to the next phase, which is the DStv Premiership? Are you worried a little?
No, not at all. Like I've said before, we know what we've got to do, and had we won our game and had Tuks won their game, we'd be in a similar position of 5 points. So it's currently 4 points, and it's still advantage Magesi. And both of us have got difficult games to play. You know, Tuks have still got a way to. They've got a way to Black Leopards. I think they've got JDR. So they've got some tough games as well. And we've got Platinum City Rovers, followed by Mulford. Also difficult games. But like I've said, we've worked so hard to get into this position. Nobody would have bet on us being 4 points clear with four games to go. I don't even think people close to the club dreamed of this happening, but we've worked hard to get into this position, and I can see it in the players' eyes. We may have lost 2-0 to Maritzburg, but the boys put in an amazing performance. The goalkeeper, in my opinion, Ncube, was man of the match, and that says a lot about our performance. So it was one of those days where we hit the upright twice, balls were being cleared off the line, and it wasn't our day. But in terms of the performance, I was very happy with, and I said to my boys at training this morning that if we perform the way we did against Maritzburg, getting 3 points against Platinum City should not be a problem.
This is a wounded Platinum City sitting at the bottom of the log at the moment. They've just fired their coach, from what I'm hearing. They're not too far off from second bottom. If they win this match and maybe 2 others, they've got survival still within their sight. A different and a difficult game, that, Coach.
Yeah, and they're coming up against a wounded Magesi. So it's going to be quite an interesting game, Andile.
Coach, you've coached in the DStv Premiership. would you say? I mean, we see it a little bit during the Nedbank Cup, but not fully so, because, coaches are normally not as focused on that, and especially those that are chasing promotion. What is the level you think of where you are now compared to what you do know in the top flight?
I think certain clubs are closer to the level of DSTV Premiership. And I've said Tuks have been one of those teams. They've been quite strong. Their type of football as well poses big problems for a lot of teams in our division because of their style. And it works for them, and credit must be given to them for that. But I still think there's a gulf in class between the NFD and the PSL. And if you look at Cape Town Spurs' struggles and Polokwane, dropping now out of the top 8, it just goes to show that the PSL, I've always said, it's a monster. It will chew you up and spit you out if you're not prepared for it. And teams that are going up need to be very wary of that. Work very, very hard. Get all your structures in place. Do your planning properly, because it's a difficult league, and it's survival of the fittest. So I still think the NFD has got a way to go to get to the level in terms of the playing quality to the DSTV Premiership. But like I said, there's probably 3 or 4 teams in the Motsepe Foundation that can compete with most of the teams in the DSTV Premiership.
You're correct about one thing, Coach, and that's the planning that needs to happen and everything that needs to happen for a team going up to the DSTV Premiership. And you need all the time and the resources to get there. Have you and your team, your management, have you started thinking about that life, the life of the DSTV Premiership, or do you think it'll be too premature?
I think very premature. And I've said it to my management, I've said it to my technical team. We've got to make sure that as soon as it's mathematically not possible to be caught, that we can start our planning. The only disadvantage I feel is that if you go via the playoffs, you get promoted via the playoffs, then I think it's going to be difficult in terms of planning and securing players. But if you get automatic promotion, you've got more than enough time to assemble a decent squad. So for me, it's just about getting the next 2 wins, because I do believe that 7 points, 8 points would do it for us. So the next 2 wins are going to be very, very important, because, like I said last week, I don't want any D-Day drama, and I'd like to have it wrapped up, if possible, before our final game.
Coach, I'll see you on the TV. I'll see you on the touchline with Mazola Mulefa soon.
Andile, it's always a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Clinton Larsen, Magesi Football Club coach. He's leading the first division at the moment, the Motsepe Foundation Championship. He's 4 points off what his rivals in the University of Pretoria are. Tuks. He could be coming back again to the DSTV Premiership. South African cricket has given birth to a new star in the shape of Nqabayonzi Peter, the young leg spinner. How many times do you hear that about South African cricket? Leg spinner. It's not a word that rolls off our tongues when it comes to South Africans. He helped the Lions clinch the CSA T20 title by being the leading wicket taker, just one short of the overall tournament leader. Nqabayonzi?
40.
You look 12. How old are you?
Yeah, I get that a lot. I was born in 2002. 2001. So
you're born in 2001.
2001. Yeah, I'm turning 23.
Yeah, you first year varsity mjana. So you're turning 23.
23 in December. Yeah, I'm turning.
That's crazy.
In December.
And this is your first season.
This is my first season with the DP World Lions. Yes, that's correct.
And look at what you went and did.
Yeah.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
What does that say? Let me see. Turn it around. He's brought his trophy with him here. Winner of the 2023-20. Congratulations, man. T20 challenge. Jono and all the guys there. Congratulations. You guys did a fantastic job.
Thank you so much, Andile.
You know why I wanted to talk to you in particular? I heard the story of how they signed you. How were you signed?
It was actually it was very unorthodox, not really how it's usually done. So I remember the Proteas were having a series in East London, and I was just there as a net bowler, trying to obviously help the guys who are in the Proteas setup for the upcoming games. And I mean, I just did my thing there. I just started bowling to the guys.
Was Lalapi at the time?
Playing for Eastern Cape Inyati at the time.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I mean, I guess I just did what I know best. I just started bowling in the nets. Little to know that was actually a blessing in disguise, and it's just opened so many doors from after that day or since that time. Bowling to the Proteas guys.
DP World Lions cricket bowler Nqabayonzi Peter is with us, a leg spinner. I mean, I said that in my opening when I was introducing you. It's not something you hear often about South Africans, that, we don't have a leg spinning culture, so to speak. It's something that you get in the subcontinent a lot more. So why leg spinning for you?
Well, even that story is a bit of a funny one. I was just bowling leg spin in the nets, fooling around before practice started. This was still in primary school, George Randall Primary. And then my coach saw me bowling leg spin, and then that's Josh Kent. And then he told me, listen, since you want to fool around at my practice, this is what you're going to bowl for this coming weekend. So I bowled, and then that weekend, I remember I took 6 for 12, and then
6 for 12.
6 for 12.
Who are you playing? Who are you playing? Andile's 11. Come on, who are you playing?
We were playing Queen's College.
Queens, you need to do better. You need to do better.
So I guess from that day onwards, he did give me a choice, because I was a seam bowler. I opened the bowling.
Yeah.
And then from that day, he just gave me a choice: do I want to continue doing it, or do I want to go back to bowling seam up? So I just said, I'm liking the feeling of taking wickets.
Were you not doing as well as a seamer?
Well, I wasn't taking 6 like every game, so I don't think I'd ever taken 6 wickets actually bowling seam. I think my highest was like 5 wickets.
So that was like, wow.
So that was like, for a very first game bowling this, and so
if you're just joining us,
ran with it.
The 12-year-old looking, sounding voice that you're hearing is Nqabayonzi Peter, who was a DP World Lions cricket bowler there with Themba Bavuma. And Jono, he's a good oak, that.
Very.
So the first time you met Jono was on the phone, I hear.
The very first time I met Jono, yes, was indeed over the phone.
I want to see, because he shortchanged us the story, Nqabayonzi. So you're there, the Proteas are there, and you're bowling to them in the nets, obviously, because that's how the guys get their training going, right? There's a person that we all know that's there as well, of course, because captain of the Proteas, Themba Bavuma.
Yeah.
When do you meet Themba?
I met Themba at the, well, it was just after we bowled to them, and they were now like just packing up their kit and
so did you bowl to him?
I did bowl to him as well.
Okay. What did he say to you?
I did go to him. I mean, I was very shy, because I mean, these guys are like my idols. And I didn't know what to say, but I mean, when I saw him walk alone, I just asked him, like, just based on how I was bowling, what can I do better for the future to become a better, leg spinner, to obviously, hopefully play for the Proteas one day. And he basically told me, listen, the way you're bowling, I don't think you need to change much.
Wow.
The quality that the people are seeing, what I was doing, they were like, if I can just stay consistent with what I was doing, and work hard enough for it, I should reach it. So then during that conversation, I obviously told him that at the time, I wasn't contracted. I was obviously playing for Eastern Cape Inyati, but I was not contracted at the time. And then he asked me, am I interested to make a move to Joburg? And I was like, I mean,
so you're this kid that's bowling in the nets to the Proteas, helping them out, of course, just before the West Indies, I think, were coming into town, right?
Yeah,
was it the West Indies? Yeah, it
yeah.
was. The West Indies are coming into town. You have a conversation with Themba, and he says to you, would you be interested to move to Joburg?
100% that. Exactly that.
What do you say?
I mean, I was honestly lost for words. I was ready to like pack my bags the next day if that was possible. So I mean, I was very happy. I was really chuffed, you know.
But was he just asking, or was this like a real thing?
I mean, I never thought he was just asking, because a few other guys also in the Proteas setup were like speaking to me, just asking me what are my plans for the following seasons. And that's something I've never really experienced, you know, having people approach me about my next move or stuff like that.
So how did the move then happen?
He literally told me to send him a DM over Instagram. I also took.
See, guys, I always say send me a DM over Instagram, and you're like, nah, you just want to ignore me. Here he is. He sent a DM. A DM is not always a bad thing.
So I sent the DM. He got back to me in like within 24 hours, and then the conversations just grew and grew and grew, and obviously that's when I obviously got to meet Jono. Telling me, he also told me, you know, he's heard a lot of good things from.
For those asking, Jono is the big boss. That's the Makulu box down at the Lions. Hey, Jono, I know he's listening. That's the man that signs the checks.
Yeah. I mean, after.
So basically, Temba then goes back to the Lions and says, I saw this kid.
Yeah.
Jono, trust me.
Yeah.
Go, because he'd never seen you. He says, I saw him, I believe, trust me. And Jono takes his word for it?
He does take his word, because he gave me a call, I think it was about a week after, or maybe a couple of days after the day I was bowling for the Proteas. And then he basically told me everything he heard, and he'd obviously like to see me. I mean, he was obviously also willing to take me to Joburg just to actually have a look at me, like do my thing bowling. But I think at the time we were still playing academy games at Fort Hare, so I couldn't. So he sent one of the coaches down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to think of the name now.
You'll remember it.
I'll remember it though. So he sent one of the coaches down to Fort Hare to have a look at me bowl and have a look at me bat, and then I guess from there was when I kind of also
figured this is real.
This is actually real, and it's actually happening.
First day you arrive in Joburg. The teeny lights get up boy. I know Forte pretty well. I worked at the True FM, Nqabayonzi show, and I said Monty for a while. So I know, man, la robot nyani iwan pa ikonin. Or figure up every intersection iti panya.
The first day I came here, I was feeling.
I mean, you're 21, yeah? You're coming through, and then
I was feeling over the moon. To be honest, I couldn't believe it that I was there, but I mean, also it didn't feel like it felt like I was in Joburg for some time. The way they welcomed me, you know, when I got to the stadium, you know, Jono, he was there to, you know, just show me around the stadium, my accommodation that I'm going to be staying at. So it made everything so much more easier. So I never, even though I still am in Joburg now, I never really feel like I'm too far away from home, just because of, you know, the hospitality that I've gotten since I've gotten to Joburg.
A year later, you're a T20 Challenge champion. You're bowling alongside, I mean, you've got, who's in that team? Riza's in that team. Temba's in that team. All these big stars that you'd been watching on television just a couple of weeks before that. They're now your teammates.
Oh, I mean, I remember the first couple of practices. I remember the Proteas guys weren't there. They were busy with a series, I think they were busy with the series. But when they did all come, you know, it felt so surreal seeing, you know, all my heroes that I mean look up to and people I watch on TV, you know, to finally being in the same dressing room as them. That really did kind of make me just realize that, you know, as much as you do have big dreams as people. We do have big dreams. Sometimes they're not so far-fetched, if you actually work hard for them. So when I'm being in the same changing room as the players you've just mentioned right now, it was like a dream come true. I've always been like very quiet. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do in the change room. But as time went on, you start getting used to them. You start having conversations, and it just feels like it's you're at ease, and you feel part of the team.
That is absolutely insane. That's crazy. And how far did you think the Proteas dream was?
To be honest, I gave myself like a 5 kind of year, a 5 year kind of span.
Between now, yeah. Say in 5 years,
in
maybe.
5 years, maybe.
I
wanna be knocking on the doors to be in the Proteas setup, and it's happened so quickly.
It's a moment of pride, don't you? It's one of those that, I know you haven't quite processed it all yet. I don't want to bombard you with that, because it's something that I know you're very emotional about now. Yeah. I can see, because it's something that just, when you were unsigned, you were wondering what will become of this future of cricket with you. And you look at yourself now, a dream that was so far is right here. I completely get it, and I understand, and I don't want you getting all emotional here when you're here to celebrate. But I'm so proud of you. When you think of Themba Bavuma, because he didn't have to. So many players spoke to you that day. They all walked off and went on about their business. He followed up and followed up and followed up. When you think of Themba Bavuma now, what do you think of him? What do you think of Themba?
He's, from that day we met when I was still in East London, he's played such a big role, just in my life, like moving from East London to Joburg, in a matter of just one conversation having with him, and obviously now as the time has gone on and I've obviously spent more time with him, he really does play a big role for me. He's become way more than a teammate. He's almost become like an older brother to me. Just guiding me, honestly, I'm really out of words, but I can really say he's played a big role with where and how far I've come right now, by far.
I've got him on the line. Themba's with us. Themba always says the only one of you guys that didn't go to that school of this accent of yours. You've all got this accent. Themba, we missed out on that class, boy.
How are you, Andile?
I'm good, man. You well?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks. Not too bad. How are you now?
I'm good, Themba.
Yeah, good, man.
My man, Themba, and it was so important for me to tell this story and have you here in particular, because you're the kind of person that never really wants to take your credit. You're the kind of person that, does everything as if it's a job and you're supposed to, and you move on with it because, you don't feel you need praises and to be put up. But you didn't need to do what you did. And also, for those that don't get to see and hear you on the field and in the change room and in the hotels when you are showcasing and showing leadership, I think this is us as South Africans getting to see that side of you as well. I am so pleased that we're able to do this, because I know you wouldn't otherwise do it.
Yeah, it definitely wouldn't come from me. And I think, yeah, big appreciation from my side. I think as happy as you are and the rest of the world, I'm as happy as everyone to see the growth trajectory of a guy like Nqaba. I think life changes very quickly, and I think he is testament to all of that. I think it just started with an opportunity. We always say that talent is in abundance, but people just need an opportunity. They just need the right support system around them to be able to realize or have a proper chance at realizing their full potential. But yeah, I mean, I'm as happy as you are and as everyone is to be celebrating Nqaba's moment.
What was it, though? What was it about him in those nets when you guys were preparing with the Proteas? What did you see?
Look, I mean, we all got to face him, and I'm very embarrassed to say that, but he was cleaning us up in the net. We weren't too sure. We weren't too sure which way the ball was going. And I think also his attitude that he showed. You know, he was competitive. He was getting in the fight. I think he might have said a couple of chirpy words to me. I think that's something that always kind of sticks out when you see a young guy who's backing himself against international players. And I mean, the fact that he's a leg spinner as well, a wrist spinner, that's something that is rare.
So rare.
And I mean, a skill like that, you want it to be refined and have the opportunity for it to be showcased at the highest stage. So, I mean, when after that moment, I was there in East London. I spoke to John, who was our CEO. I was boss, there's this guy, we need to get him here to the Lions. Please just try and make something happen. You know, Jono being Jono, and us having a good relationship, we got him over to the Lions. I think it was his first season, if I'm not correct. He didn't get the opportunities that he would have liked. But I think true to his character, he stayed patient. Never heard him complain once. Did his work. He was always at practice, doing extra work, and then when his opportunity came, he did what he did. I must say, I'm surprised that he's in the national team. I wasn't planning, at least in my head, that it would happen so quickly. But I think it's just testament to the guy's natural talent.
I mean, I must be very honest as well. I'm with you. I thought, gee whiz, I can't wait to see him in the future and what he's going to do when he's in that setup. But when it happened now, I thought I must have missed something. And I mean, I don't get to catch all of the games. I would have loved to. But in comparison, I mean, you've been there around the world. You've played with some of the best around the world, Tamba. He's going to get thrown into that clasp now. What do you say to a young man who's going to be facing some of the best batsmen in the world?
I think I always, from a cricketing perspective, always trust what you've done. Believe what you've done is enough, and don't feel the need to change that too quickly. So trust your natural skill and ability, trust your instinct. And then I think, I mean, from a mental point of view, adopt the same patience that you've had. Don't expect things to happen right away, as you did for the Lions. And just enjoy the moment, enjoy the journey. I think at the end of the day, it is a process. I think as I'm getting a bit older, you tend to realize that what's more important is the chase than the actual dream. We all have dreams and all of that, but what really matters, what really stands out at the end of the day is the chase or the journey that you go on. So I would say enjoy it, take it in your stride, and let your natural ability speak for itself.
Listen, I appreciate you, and thank you so much for everything, man. Always looking out for you. And, keep it going, Tamba. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks, Andile.
That's
all the best, man.
My captain. That's my captain. I don't know about you, but that's my captain, Tamba Babu, my friend of the room as well. Always comes on when we need him. Paul Adams. When I saw that, I think it was a couple of days ago, when Paul Adams said, hey, for those that didn't know, I met this young man a long time ago in East London, and he was talking about how proud he is of you. Now, to my generation, Paul Adams, Kocha, I don't know how much it means to you, but to us, I was like, geez, Paul Adams is giving him the stamp of approval.
It definitely does. It does. I personally appreciate, when you get someone that I can say I honestly look up to, who then says, stuff like that about me, positive words and positive affirmations. He's also played a very, very big big role in just upping or improving my skills back in Eastern Cape Inyati. And yeah, I mean, I really appreciate hearing that he says good things about me. To be honest, most of it, I've also learned quite a lot from him.
But Abazali, they're still in the Eastern Cape.
Giving him credit. Abazali base Monti.
So how often do you get to see him?
Well, I haven't had the chance as of late. But I did bring Mama to Joburg.
Listen to that, eh?
A couple.
I brought Mama to Joburg. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I try by my best to. If I can't go home, at least for Mama to come to Joburg and just to see banondi ndihlala kwindawo enjani yonke into right and obviously just to see her again. So yeah, when I do have the time, I try by my best to.
You know what? Congratulations to you, General Leaf Wright as well, who's the CEO and the entire team. This was just an introduction. There's going to come a time when I'm going to want you to come and sit here for an hour and we have a proper conversation, because the inspiration behind what you did, and I don't know if you know, but you got a slight opportunity to do something that many get to do. You're not the first. There's hundreds of people that get to do what you did. They say, no, come on, the Proteas are here. Whatever team is here, please just help them out and bowl. You weren't the only one on that day even. But what you did is you didn't take it as just, let me just go and do this and do. You gave your all. And it's what got you to where you are today, where you're going to be representing your country even. And I think that's such an inspiration, because to have a mindset like that at the age that you were is just crazy to me. I appreciate you. Congratulations on everything. And I can't wait to see what you're going to achieve. I mean, in the last month, between yourself and Timmy, what's his name again? Ukwena. You know Ukwena, of course.
I know, yeah.
You guys have met?
Yeah. He obviously played for the Lions, so when he came back after the under-19 tour, he did play a few games for the Lions. So yeah,
I would assume you guys are like buddies.
He's definitely like we definitely met. I haven't known him for the longest.
No, we need to set up this lunch. We need to set up this lunch. You guys need to be bosom buddies. I want that for you. I want that for you. Yeah. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you coming through. I can't wait to see what you go on to do, and I can't wait to see how it's going to unveil. And take your time to have the approach that things sink in. And I'll see you soon. Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. I really appreciate it. The time you guys put into to setting up, interviews or conversations like this. I must say I really do appreciate it. And obviously following my cricket, it also does give me, some confidence, and, just knowing that, it's no longer just playing for myself, just having fun for myself, There's a lot more people who are actually supporting me and just, excited for me the same way that I am. And I must say I really do appreciate that.
I appreciate you. I can't wait to see what you're going to do. If mom and dad aren't listening, I know absolutely hundreds and millions of people are listening in the Eastern Cape. Please give them a big shout out first before we go, because I want their phones to just buzz.
No, shout out to Mamzo, Nsiki. I just want to say to you, Mamzo, thank you for giving me, the opportunity to follow my dream. I know you always want me to study and all that, but when I did say I wanna just follow the cricket and I wanna pursue it, you never gave me any problems. You gave me a chance to express myself, and I really do want to say I appreciate you for being open to my ideas.
30 years of democracy has birthed people like you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, my boy.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much to this young man. I love it when talent like that shows off and shows up the way that he just did. Nsiki, out Emonti, your son, You've done a good job. I appreciate you. Thank you for listening. Pela pela. That's all me.